They confiscated our cameras. They confiscated our notes. They confiscated our computers. What they took away is our ability to report. Hi, my name is Vlad Teichberg. I am one of the members of Glass Beat Collective. Yesterday, well actually this morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, we were stopped by police officers right outside the place where we were staying, and we were searched without cause. We were detained for more than an hour, or at least it felt like more than an hour, and then subsequently our possessions were confiscated and we never received a receipt for our stuff. We're journalists, at least on this project we're journalists. In general we're artists, but for this particular project we're coming to document what's happening at the Republican National Convention, and the police have taken away all of our equipment and is trying to create a situation where we cannot do our job.
We're here today with other representatives of the National Lawyers Guild, Communities United Against Police Brutality, as well as 3 citizen artists and journalists who were detained early this morning in northeast Minneapolis by the Minneapolis police. The 3 individuals that are behind me are with a project called the Glass Bead Collective out of New York City, and they engage in documenting police misconduct as well as documenting protected First Amendment activity in protests around the United States. Early this morning at about 2 a.m. they got off bus 17B at 27th and Washington Street in northeast Minneapolis. They ended up walking about a block and a half towards the house they were staying when they were stopped by 2 squad cars of the Minneapolis police and subsequently by a sheriff's deputy car. They were interrogated, they were questioned about their travel plans, about their associations, why they were here. Initially, they were told that they were under investigation because there had been car burglaries in the neighborhood. They were asked if they would consent to a search of their property, and all of them said they would not do so. The Minneapolis police proceeded to go through all of their property, search their persons, go through their backpacks, go through their video cameras, and ended up seizing cell phones, 2 video cameras, 2 still cameras, a computer, a separate hard drive, as well as clothing, personal objects, and money. Today I spoke to Lieutenant Wisney with the 2nd Precinct of Minneapolis Police Department, as well as a member of the Minneapolis City Attorney's Office. The story being given by the police department is that these 3 are under investigation for criminal trespass upon the railroad yard in the area. That was not any of the statements that were made by the police last night or early this morning. All of this should be well documented on 2 police squad car videos that we believe were running the entire time that these individuals were stopped, interrogated, and their property was searched. I am putting on public notice to the Minneapolis Police Department that those squad car videos need to be preserved in unedited form. The audio needs to be preserved. The police now say that they are going to be obtaining a search warrant or seeking a search warrant in order to search the video cameras and the still cameras. This is absolutely outrageous behavior for a police department towards individuals who are engaged in protected First Amendment activity and who have a documented record of exposing police misconduct. We know of the existence of police misconduct in this city. We also know that independent citizens taking video of the police have exposed the police manufacturing false police reports, spraying people with chemical weapons and mace during the August 2007 critical mass. The ability of citizens and the ability of professional journalists and artists to document police conduct at the time that we are expecting large-scale demonstrations during the Republican National Convention is absolutely essential if we are to guarantee the First Amendment rights of the media and of people to engage in protest, as well as to hold police accountable. We hope that any affidavit presented by the Minneapolis police in support of their application for a search warrant is truthful, that it fully discloses the information they were given about why these 3 individuals were here, that it fully discloses that they were here to document and photograph police activity and protest activity, that all of that information is presented to a judge. We are also very concerned that not only was the video camera taken, which the police claim may contain evidence of the heinous crime of trespass, which it will not and does not, but that they also seized notebooks phone numbers, names of activists, the schedule of where demonstrations will be held over the upcoming week, all of which was information, part of protected journalistic sources that these individuals were going to use to cover the protest activity occurring in this city over the next week. All of that information will now be taken by the Minneapolis police as part of what we believe is an intelligence operation to gather information on activists, to gather information on the location of protected First Amendment activity, and to use it to further investigate and to further crack down on protected activity. This is an outrageous violation. We believe that the justifications now being given by the Minneapolis Police Department are fabrications being made up after the fact to cover up what were gross constitutional violations of these citizens and of these journalists' rights to engage in First Amendment and protected activity.
So let me tell you a little bit about Glass Bead Collective and who we are. We are a group of artists, we're a group of filmmakers, we're a group of storytellers. We do a number of different projects. Some of these projects are projecting giant images on buildings, and we call it augmentation of space. Some of these projects is taking different video images and mixing them together to create a new reality. We work with immersive spaces and so on, but we're also journalists at the same time. For this particular project, we came to Minnesota to document what's going to happen during the Republican National Convention over the next week. And we have experienced the Republican National Convention 4 years ago. And 4 years ago in New York City, almost 2,000 people got arrested with absolutely no reason. Almost none of the charges stuck. All of these charges were dismissed, and people spent days in jail and would not be called to jail. They were held in these holding pens for days in the completely substandard, unhealthy conditions. The New York City is still facing massive lawsuits related to the systematic violation rights of its citizens expressed in the First Amendment. We came to the city not looking for this kind of trouble. The reason we were making the film 4 years ago about the Republican National Convention is because we're actually fascinated why are people idealistic in our society in the first place? Why are people coming to protest and to express their opinion in the first place? Last time we were not given an opportunity to make a story about that because the violence perpetuated by the authority against people who are exercising their First Amendment rights completely became the dominant story. Coming back to what's happening over here, it is extremely important for individuals, be they established press, or be they citizen journalists, or be they just men on the street, to have the right to document, to witness what is going on around them. We just had an experience in New York, where it's been a very long experience, with how New York City Police Department is actually treating its citizens. There is a massive pattern of corruption, not a corruption of someone taking a bribe, but corruption of a much more serious and much more dangerous sort. A systematic system where police are manufacturing accusations against individuals they are arresting. And this particular problem can undermine the very essence of our democracy. It is fundamentally un-American, and this threatens the very fabric of our existence. Because if the people who are told to enforce the laws are free to violate those laws, there can be no rule of law. And what do we have? We have a society run by a bunch of thug with badges. Police officer who was taking this away justified confiscating our equipment in this illegal way as in the interest of Homeland Security. What kind of Homeland Security do you have when police can come and take away your right to exercise your constitutionally protected rights?